Zara nervously adjusted her sensory appendages as she glided into the vast lecture hall of the Galactic Academy. The iridescent walls pulsed with a soft, welcoming glow, but it did little to calm her first-day jitters. As a luminarian, Zara's bioluminescent skin betrayed her anxiety, flickering in shades of pale green and yellow. "Relax, Zara," a gravelly voice rumbled beside her. "You look like you're about to molt." Zara turned to see Crix, her Petrosian classmate, lumbering into the room. His rocky exoskeleton clinked softly as he moved, each step leaving tiny indentations in the malleable floor. "Easy for you to say, Crix," Zara replied, her voice a melodic trill. "Your species doesn't show emotion through color changes." Crix's crystalline eyes glinted with amusement. "No, but we do tend to crack under pressure." Literally. Their banter was interrupted by a shimmering figure that materialized at the front of the lecture hall. Professor Nix, a being of pure energy contained within a humanoid form, addressed the class. "Welcome, students, to Advanced Xenobiology. I am Professor Nix, and this term, we will be exploring one of the most fascinating and dangerous planets in the known universe, Earth." A collective murmur rippled through the diverse array of alien students. Earth was notorious throughout the galaxy, a planet so hazardous it was classified as a death world. Few had dared to study it up close. As Professor Nix began the lecture, holographic images of Earth's varied landscapes flickered to life around the room. Zara marveled at the planet's diversity, from scorching deserts to frozen tundras, lush forests to barren mountaintops. "Earth is unique in its extreme variations," Professor Nix explained, her voice resonating with an otherworldly timbre. "Its gravity is crushingly strong, its atmosphere corrosive, and its temperature fluctuations would be lethal to most species in this room." Crix raised a stony appendage. "Professor, how can any life survive in such conditions?" Before Professor Nix could answer, a melodious voice chimed in from the back of the room. "Adaptation." All eyes turned to see a willowy figure with translucent, leaf-like skin. It was Lumi, a Chlorovian known for their exceptional intellect and photosynthetic abilities. Professor Nix nodded approvingly. "Excellent, Lumi. Would you care to elaborate?" Lumi's leaves rustled as she stood. "Earth's harsh conditions have driven its inhabitants to evolve at an unprecedented rate. The dominant species, humans, have developed remarkable resilience and adaptability." "Precisely," Professor Nix agreed. "And it is this adaptability that makes Earth and its inhabitants so fascinating, and potentially dangerous." As the lecture continued, Zara found herself captivated by the complexities of Earth's ecosystems. The intricate food webs, the delicate balance of predator and prey, the constant struggle for survival, it was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. During a brief respite, Zara turned to Crix and Lumi, who had moved closer during the lecture. "I can't believe how much life thrives on Earth despite the conditions," she mused, her skin now pulsing with excited blues and purples. Crix nodded, tiny pebbles cascading from his shoulders with the movement. "It's incredible. On my homeworld, we have to hibernate for decades to survive minor climate shifts. These humans endure daily temperature changes that would shatter my people." Lumi's leaves quivered thoughtfully. "What intrigues me is their cognitive abilities. Despite their short lifespans, humans have achieved remarkable technological advancements. Their potential for growth is unsettling." Their discussion was cut short as Professor Nix called the class back to attention. "Now, students, we come to the most crucial part of our study. Earth harbors a secret, a hidden danger that makes it far deadlier than its harsh physical conditions suggest." The room fell silent, every student leaning forward in anticipation. "Earth's true threat lies in its microscopic lifeforms," Professor Nix revealed, projecting images of various bacteria and viruses. "These organisms, invisible to the human eye, have the power to devastate entire populations. They evolve rapidly, adapting to overcome defenses and resist treatments." Zara felt a chill run through her luminous body. The idea of invisible, ever-changing threats was terrifying. She glanced at Crix, whose usually stoic rocky features seemed to have paled slightly. Professor Nix continued, her energy form pulsating with intensity. This is why Earth is classified as a death world. Not just because of its inhospitable environment, but because every aspect of life there, from the largest predators to the smallest microbes, has evolved to survive at all costs. As the lecture drew to a close, Professor Nix made an announcement that sent a ripple of excitement through the class. For your final project, you will be divided into research teams. Your task, to observe Earth and its inhabitants from our orbital station, analyze the data, and present your findings on why Earth should or should not retain its death world classification. Zara's skin flickered with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The chance to study Earth up close was both thrilling and terrifying. She looked at Crix and Lumi, sensing a similar mix of emotions from them. Remember, Professor Nix warned, her voice grave, this is not just an academic exercise. Your findings could have far-reaching consequences for galactic policy regarding Earth. Treat this responsibility with the utmost seriousness. As the class dispersed, Zara, Crix, and Lumi found themselves gravitating towards each other. Despite their vastly different physiologies and backgrounds, they shared a common fascination with the enigma that was Earth. So, Zara said, her skin now a swirl of determined orange and curious pink, shall we form a research team? Crix's crystalline eyes glinted with resolve. Absolutely. Someone needs to keep you two from getting too caught up in the excitement and forgetting the dangers. Lumi's leaves rustled in what Zara had come to recognize as laughter. And someone needs to ensure our reports are coherent and not just a collection of fearful warnings, Crix. As they left the lecture hall, Zara couldn't help but feel that they were on the brink of something monumental. Earth, with all its dangers and marvels, awaited their exploration. Little did they know that their research would uncover truths that would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Academy's understanding of life, evolution, and the classification of worlds. The trio made their way to the Academy's vast library, eager to begin their preliminary research. As they settled into a quiet corner, surrounded by holographic displays and data crystals, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that this project would be more than just an academic exercise. It would be a journey that would challenge everything they thought they knew about life in the universe. As the artificial day cycle of the Academy began to dim, simulating evening, Zara, Crix, and Lumi found themselves deep in discussion, planning their approach to the Earth study. Their diverse backgrounds and unique perspectives would prove invaluable in the challenges that lay ahead. Little did they know that their investigation into Earth's death world status would lead them to discoveries that would not only change their own lives but potentially alter the course of galactic history. As the first part of their cosmic adventure drew to a close, the stage was set for a journey that would take them to the very edge of known science and beyond. Zara's luminescent skin pulsed with a mix of excitement and trepidation as she stepped onto the observation deck of the Galactic Academy's orbital station. Through the vast transparent dome, the blue-green orb of Earth loomed large, swirling with white clouds and teeming with life far below. "It's beautiful," she breathed, her voice a soft trill of wonder. Beside her, Crix's rocky form shifted uneasily. "Beautiful, yes, but remember why we're here. That planet down there is classified as a death world for a reason." Lumi glided forward, her leaf-like appendages rustling gently in the station's artificial breeze. "Indeed. Our mission is to observe and analyze, not to be captivated by aesthetics." The trio had spent weeks preparing for this moment, studying Earth's history, biology, and the complex web of life that made the planet so unique and dangerous. Now, they were about to embark on their first direct observation mission. Professor Nix materialized beside them, her energy form shimmering with an air of caution. "Remember, students, this is not a field trip. You are here to gather data and make observations. Under no circumstances are you to attempt to make contact with the planet's surface or its inhabitants." Zara nodded solemnly, her skin shifting to a serious shade of blue. "We understand, Professor." We've prepared extensively for this mission. Very well, Professor Nix replied. Your observation pod is ready. You have 6 Earth hours to conduct your initial survey. Good luck, and stay safe. As they boarded the sleek, silver pod designed for close planetary observation, Zara couldn't help but feel a thrill of anticipation. The pod detached from the station with a soft hiss, and they began their descent towards Earth's atmosphere. Crix took control of the navigation systems, his crystalline eyes focused intently on the holographic displays. I'm detecting high levels of atmospheric turbulence. Adjusting our entry vector. Lumi monitored the environmental readings, her leaves twitching with each new data point. Fascinating. The levels of oxygen in the atmosphere are incredibly high compared to most habitable planets. It's practically corrosive. As they penetrated the upper layers of Earth's atmosphere, the pod began to shudder violently. Zara's bioluminescence flickered erratically with alarm. Crix, is this normal? Negative, Crix rumbled, his stony fingers dancing across the control panel. The atmospheric density is much higher than our simulations predicted. I'm compensating, but it's going to be a rough ride. The pod plunged through layers of clouds, buffeted by winds that howled against the hull. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light illuminated the cockpit, followed by a deafening crack that reverberated through their bodies. What was that? Zara cried, her skin now a panicked yellow. Lumi's leaves stood on end. Lightning. A natural electrical discharge. Highly dangerous, but also a crucial component of Earth's nitrogen cycle. As they emerged from the cloud layer, the true majesty and terror of Earth revealed itself. Below them stretched a vast ocean, its surface whipped into a frenzy by a raging storm. Massive waves crashed against each other, and the sky was dark with roiling clouds. This is incredible, Zara whispered, her fear momentarily forgotten in the face of such raw power. Crix grunted, still focused on keeping them airborne. Incredible and lethal. One wrong move and we'd be crushed by those waves or fried by lightning. They spent the next hour observing the storm, marveling at the resilience of the marine life they detected below the surface. Schools of fish moved in synchronized patterns, while larger predators lurked in the depths, seemingly unperturbed by the chaos above. As they moved on from the ocean, they encountered a landscape of towering mountains, their peaks shrouded in snow and ice. Lumi was particularly fascinated by the hardy plants that clung to life in this harsh environment. The adaptability of Earth's flora is remarkable, she noted, recording her observations. These plants have evolved mechanisms to survive extreme cold, high UV radiation, and low nutrient availability. Their journey took them over vast deserts, where they witnessed sandstorms that could strip the flesh from bones, and through dense rainforests teeming with more biodiversity than some entire planets. As they hovered over a savanna, they observed a group of humans tracking a herd of large herbivores. Zara watched in awe as the humans, despite their seemingly fragile bodies, moved with purpose and skill. Look at them, she marveled. No natural weapons, no protective exoskeletons, yet they're apex predators. How is this possible? Crix zoomed in on the humans' tools. Technology. They've externalized their evolutionary adaptations. Those spears they're carrying. They're an extension of their bodies, allowing them to take down prey many times their size. Lumi added, and look at how they move as a group. Their social cooperation is unparalleled. It's not just about physical adaptations, their cognitive abilities and social structures are their true strengths. As they continued their observations, the true dangers of Earth became increasingly apparent. They witnessed predators with teeth and claws that could easily tear through their protective suits, insects carrying diseases that could devastate entire populations, and plants with toxins potent enough to kill with a single touch. But with each new danger they encountered, they also saw how life on Earth had adapted to survive and thrive. It was a constant arms race of evolution, with predator and prey, parasite and host, all locked in an eternal dance of adaptation and counter-adaptation. As their 6-hour window neared its end, Zara felt a mix of relief and reluctance to leave. Earth was more wondrous and terrifying than she had ever imagined. "I think I understand now," she said softly as Crix piloted them back towards the upper atmosphere. "Earth isn't just a death world because of its physical dangers. It's a death world because every aspect of life here has been shaped by the constant struggle to survive. Everything is a potential threat, even the things you can't see." Lumi nodded, her leaves drooping slightly with fatigue. "Yes, but it's also a world of incredible resilience and diversity. The very challenges that make it deadly have driven the evolution of some of the most remarkable life forms we've ever encountered." Crix remained silent for a moment, then spoke with a tone of grudging admiration. "I've seen worlds torn apart by far less than what Earth endures on a daily basis. The fact that life not only survives here but thrives, it's almost miraculous." As they docked with the orbital station, all three knew that their perspective on life, evolution, and the classification of worlds had been irrevocably changed. Earth was indeed a death world, but it was also a world of wonders beyond their wildest imaginations. Professor Nix was waiting for them as they disembarked, her energy form pulsing with curiosity. "Well, students? What are your initial impressions?" Zara, Crix, and Lumi exchanged glances, each seeing in the other's eyes the same mix of awe, fear, and newfound respect for the planet they had just observed. Zara stepped forward, her skin now a deep, thoughtful purple. "Professor, I think we've only just begun to scratch the surface of understanding Earth. It's more complex, more dangerous, and more fascinating than we ever could have imagined." Professor Nix nodded, a shimmer of approval rippling through her form. "Excellent. That's precisely the kind of insight I was hoping for. Now, let's review your data and prepare for your next observation session. Earth has many more secrets to reveal, and I have a feeling your team is just the one to uncover them." As they followed Professor Nix to the debriefing room, Zara, Crix, and Lumi knew that their journey into understanding Earth was far from over. In fact, it was only just beginning, and the revelations to come would challenge everything they thought they knew about life in the universe. Zara's bioluminescent skin flickered with a mix of anticipation and unease as she peered into the high-powered microscope. The tiny world revealed through the lens was as alien and terrifying as any distant planet she had ever studied. "I still can't believe how many microorganisms exist in a single drop of Earth water," she murmured, her voice a soft trill of wonder and concern. Crix lumbered over, his crystalline eyes glinting with curiosity. "Let me see," he rumbled, carefully adjusting the microscope with his stony appendages. "By the cosmic core, it's like a war zone in there." Lumi glided gracefully to join them, her leaf-like skin rustling softly. "Indeed. Earth's microbial life is in a constant state of evolution and competition. It's fascinating, and deeply troubling." The trio had spent weeks analyzing the data from their observation mission, but it was this microscopic realm that had captured their full attention. Professor Nix had granted them special access to the Academy's most advanced xenobiology lab to continue their research. "Look at this," Lumi said, pulling up a holographic display of their latest findings. "These bacteria are developing resistance to antimicrobial compounds at an alarming rate. If this trend continues, it could lead to a pandemic," Zara finished, her skin pulsing with a worried orange hue. Crix's rocky form seemed to slouch slightly. "And not just on Earth. If any of these microbes were to make it off-planet, the implications hung heavy in the air. Their research had revealed a threat far more insidious than Earth's harsh physical conditions. The planet's microscopic life forms, with their rapid reproduction and mutation rates, posed a potential danger to the entire galaxy." As they continued their analysis, a soft chime indicated an incoming transmission. Professor Nix's shimmering form materialized in the center of the lab. "Students, I hope your research is progressing well," she began, her energy form pulsating with an urgency they hadn't seen before. "I'm afraid I have some disturbing news. We've detected an unauthorized shuttle leaving Earth's atmosphere." Zara's skin flashed a startled white. A human spacecraft? But they don't have that level of technology yet. Professor Nix's form flickered with concern. No, not human. We believe it's a group of interstellar smugglers who've been observing Earth without authorization. They've been apprehended, but they could be carrying Earth microbes, Lumi finished, her leaves trembling slightly. Precisely, Professor Nix confirmed. I need your team to conduct an immediate analysis. Your expertise on Earth's microbial life is crucial. Report to Quarantine Bay 7 immediately. As the transmission ended, Zara, Crix, and Lumi exchanged worried glances. They had known their research was important, but they hadn't expected to be thrust into a potential crisis so soon. The quarantine bay was a flurry of activity when they arrived. Decontamination fields hummed, and containment specialists in sealed suits moved with practiced efficiency. In the center of it all stood the impounded shuttle, its sleek design clearly of non-Earth origin. Dr. Vex, the Academy's chief epidemiologist, greeted them with a curt nod of her tentacled head. We've managed to isolate several microbial samples from the shuttle's hull and interior. We need you to identify them and assess the risk. For the next several hours, Zara, Crix, and Lumi worked tirelessly, their diverse skills complementing each other perfectly. Zara's keen sensory abilities allowed her to detect subtle chemical signatures, while Crix's steady hands and precise movements were invaluable in handling delicate samples. Lumi's vast knowledge of biological systems helped them quickly categorize and analyze the microbes they encountered. As they worked, a disturbing pattern began to emerge. Many of the microbes they identified were common Earth bacteria, but some had already begun to show signs of mutation. Look at this, Zara said, her skin pulsing with alarmed reds and yellows. This strain of Pseudomonas has adapted to survive in the vacuum of space. It's unlike anything we've seen before. Lumi's leaves rustled with excitement and fear. The radiation exposure during the shuttle's flight must have accelerated its mutation rate. If it can survive in space, it could potentially spread to other worlds, Crix finished grimly. The implications were staggering. Earth's microbes, already dangerous in their native environment, could become an interstellar plague if allowed to spread unchecked. Dr. Vex listened to their findings with growing concern. We need to develop a containment protocol immediately. If word of this gets out, there could be calls to quarantine the entire Earth system. Zara felt a wave of protectiveness wash over her. Despite its dangers, Earth had captured her fascination and respect. The thought of it being cut off from the rest of the galaxy seemed wrong somehow. There has to be another way, she said, her voice filled with determination. Earth's microbial life is dangerous, yes, but it's also the source of the planet's incredible biodiversity and resilience. If we could find a way to harness that power instead of just containing it. Crix nodded, tiny pebbles cascading from his shoulders with the movement. Zara's right. Earth's microbes are a double-edged sword. They're a threat, but they could also be the key to breakthrough medical treatments and environmental restoration techniques. Lumi's leaves perked up with sudden inspiration. What if we proposed a controlled research initiative? Instead of quarantine, we could establish a high-security facility to study Earth's microbes safely. We could develop new technologies to protect against them and learn from their incredible adaptability. Dr. Vex considered their words carefully. It's a risky proposition, but it could work. I'll present your findings and recommendation to the Academy Council. In the meantime, continue your analysis. We need to know exactly what we're dealing with. As Dr. Vex left to make her report, Zara, Crix, and Lumi shared a moment of silent understanding. They had come to study Earth as a death world, but they were beginning to see it as something more, a crucible of evolution, a source of both great danger and incredible potential. Their work continued through the night cycle, each new discovery adding to the complex picture of Earth's microbial ecosystem. They identified strains that could break down pollutants, others that could survive extreme temperatures, and still others with potential applications in energy production. As the artificial dawn broke over the academy, Zara looked up from her microscope, her skin glowing with a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. "You know," she said to her teammates, "I think we've stumbled onto something much bigger than our original project." Crix nodded, his crystalline eyes glinting with newfound purpose. "We're not just studying a death world anymore. We're at the forefront of a whole new field of galactic microbiology." Lumi's leaves rustled in agreement. "And perhaps, in understanding Earth's microbes, we'll gain a deeper understanding of life itself, in all its terrifying and wonderful forms." As they prepared their report for the Academy Council, all three knew that their journey was far from over. The microbial menace they had uncovered was just the beginning. Earth, with all its dangers and marvels, still had many secrets to reveal, and they were determined to uncover them all, for the sake of science, for the safety of the galaxy, and for the sheer wonder of discovery. Zara's luminescent skin pulsed with nervous energy as she stood before the imposing doors of the Galactic Academy's High Council chamber. Beside her, Crix's rocky form seemed even more rigid than usual, while Lumi's leaves quivered slightly in the recycled air of the space station. "Are we really doing this?" Zara whispered, her voice a mix of excitement and apprehension. Crix nodded, his crystalline eyes glinting with determination. "We have to. It's the only way to protect Earth and the rest of the galaxy." Lumi's leaves rustled in agreement. "Our research has brought us to this point. We can't back down now." The doors slid open silently, revealing a vast circular room. Tiered seating surrounded a central platform, each seat occupied by a representative from a different galactic species. At the center, Professor Nix's energy form pulsed gently, serving as the mediator for this crucial meeting. As the trio made their way to the central platform, Zara couldn't help but marvel at the diversity of life forms present. Some were vaguely humanoid, others defied easy classification. All eyes, or sensory organs, were fixed on them. Professor Nix's voice resonated through the chamber. "Esteemed members of the Council, I present to you Zara, Crix, and Lumi, the research team that has made groundbreaking discoveries regarding the planet Earth." Zara stepped forward, her skin shifting to a calm blue as she gathered her courage. "Honorable Council members, we come before you today with a proposal that may seem radical, but which we believe is crucial for the future of galactic relations and scientific advancement." She activated a holographic display, showing a three-dimensional model of Earth. "As you know, Earth has long been classified as a death world due to its harsh conditions and dangerous lifeforms. Our research has confirmed the validity of this classification, but it has also revealed something extraordinary." Crix took over, his gravelly voice echoing in the chamber. "Earth's microbial life, while potentially dangerous, also holds the key to unprecedented medical and technological advancements. We've discovered microorganisms capable of surviving in extreme conditions, breaking down pollutants, and even potentially revolutionizing energy production." Lumi continued, her melodious voice carrying a note of urgency. "However, we've also uncovered evidence that Earth's microbes are beginning to adapt to space travel. If left unchecked, this could pose a significant threat to other worlds." A murmur of concern rippled through the council. An avian representative, with iridescent feathers and sharp eyes, spoke up. "Are you suggesting we quarantine the entire Earth system?" Zara shook her head, her skin flickering with determination. "No, Counselor. We're proposing something far more ambitious. We believe it's time to initiate first contact with humanity." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices and other communicative sounds. Professor Nix raised her energy form, calling for order. "Please, allow the team to explain their reasoning." Crix stepped forward. "We understand this is an unprecedented suggestion. Earth's civilization has not yet achieved interstellar travel. However, our observations have shown that they are on the brink of several major technological breakthroughs. More importantly, they have demonstrated remarkable adaptability and resilience, qualities that could make them valuable allies in facing galactic threats. Lumi added, by establishing controlled contact, we can guide humanity's development, ensuring they handle their microbial challenges responsibly. We can also gain access to Earth's biodiversity in a regulated manner, allowing us to harness its potential while minimizing risks. A reptilian counselor hissed skeptically. And what makes you think these humans would be open to such contact? They're known for their violent tendencies and tribal divisions. Zara's skin pulsed with passionate colors. Counselor, while it's true that humans have a history of conflict, they've also shown incredible capacity for cooperation, empathy, and scientific curiosity. Our studies of their cultures and history suggest that a significant portion of their population has long dreamed of contact with extraterrestrial life. The debate raged for hours. The trio presented their research, answered questions, and passionately argued their case. They showed simulations of potential outcomes, both with and without intervention. They highlighted the unique qualities of human innovation and adaptability that could benefit the galactic community. As the arguments wound down, a sense of quiet contemplation fell over the chamber. Professor Nix's energy form shimmered as she addressed the council. We have heard compelling arguments from our research team. Now, we must decide on a course of action that will shape the future of not just Earth, but potentially our entire galactic community. The voting process was tense. Zara, Crix, and Lumi waited anxiously as each council member registered their decision. Finally, Professor Nix announced the results. By a narrow margin, the council has voted in favor of the proposal. We will begin preparations for first contact with Earth. The chamber buzzed with excitement and apprehension. Zara felt a wave of relief wash over her, her skin glowing with a mix of joy and nervous anticipation. Professor Nix continued, Zara, Crix, Lumi, given your extensive knowledge of Earth and its inhabitants, you will be integral to the first contact team. You have one standard galactic cycle to prepare a detailed plan for initiating communication and managing the inevitable cultural shock. As they left the council chamber, the gravity of their new responsibility settled over them. They had changed the course of galactic history, and the real work was only just beginning. So, Crix rumbled as they walked, how exactly does one say, greetings, to a species that doesn't know it's not alone in the universe? Lumi's leaves rustled with what sounded like a chuckle. Carefully, Crix. Very carefully. Zara's skin shimmered with determination and excitement. We'll figure it out together. After all, if our research has taught us anything, it's that adaptation is the key to survival, and humanity has proven to be nothing if not adaptable. As they set off to begin their preparations, all three knew that the greatest challenge of their academic careers, and perhaps of galactic history, lay ahead. The death world they had come to study was about to become the focal point of a new era of interstellar relations, and they were at the heart of it all. As the auditorium began to clear, Zara, Crix, and Lumi found themselves surrounded by a mix of excited colleagues and curious human scientists. The air buzzed with potential collaborations and research ideas. Professor Nix approached the trio, her energy form pulsating with pride. You've done remarkable work here. The impact of your research will be felt for generations to come. What do you plan to do next? Zara's skin shimmered with a mix of excitement and determination. Professor, we've been discussing this, and we believe our journey is far from over. There's so much more to explore and understand. Crix nodded, tiny pebbles cascading from his shoulders. We'd like to propose a long-term research mission. A journey to seek out other crucible worlds across the galaxy. Lumi's leaves rustled in agreement. Our work on Earth has shown us that there's so much more to learn about the adaptability of life. We want to apply our new classification system and see what other wonders the universe holds. Professor Nix's form shimmered thoughtfully. An ambitious proposal. It would require significant resources and support from the Galactic Council. We understand the challenges, Zara said, her skin pulsing with conviction. But we believe the potential benefits far outweigh the risks. Imagine the scientific advancements we could make, the new alliances we could forge. As they discussed the details of their proposal, a small group of human scientists approached, led by Dr. Elaine Harper, the head of Earth's newly formed Interstellar Research Division. "Excuse me," Dr. Harper interjected politely. "We couldn't help but overhear. If you're planning an expedition to other Crucible worlds, we'd be honored to be part of it. Earth has much to offer in terms of adaptive technology and resilience strategies." Crix's crystalline eyes glinted with interest. "That's an intriguing offer, Dr. Harper. Your expertise would indeed be valuable." Lumi added, "A joint expedition would also serve as an excellent opportunity to further galactic cooperation and understanding." Professor Nix's energy form pulsed with approval. "This is precisely the kind of collaboration we hope to foster. I'll present your proposal to the Galactic Council immediately. I have a feeling they'll be very interested." As the group began to excitedly discuss the possibilities of their future expedition, Zara felt a sense of profound satisfaction. They had come so far from their first days as curious students, and yet, in many ways, their journey was just beginning. She looked at her teammates, Crix's steady presence, Lumi's thoughtful demeanor, and their new human allies, all buzzing with ideas and enthusiasm. Together, they stood ready to face the unknown, to seek out new life and new civilizations across the cosmic expanse. The universe, with all its wonders and dangers, awaited them. Crucible worlds, each with their own unique challenges and marvels, were out there to be discovered. And they would be at the forefront, pushing the boundaries of science, diplomacy, and understanding. As the artificial day cycle of the space station began to dim, simulating evening, Zara, Crix, and Lumi found themselves on the observation deck, gazing out at the star-studded vastness of space. Earth, beautiful and blue, hung in the distance, a reminder of where their journey had begun. "You know," Zara said, her skin glowing with a soft, contemplative blue, "when we first started studying Earth, I never imagined we'd end up here." Crix rumbled in agreement. From a feared death world to the key that unlocked a new era of galactic exploration. It's quite the transformation. Lumi's leaves rustled gently. And to think, this is just the beginning. There's so much more out there to discover, so many more Crucible worlds waiting to share their secrets. As they stood there, on the brink of their next great adventure, they knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. They had reshaped the galaxy's understanding of life itself, and in doing so, had opened up a universe of possibilities. The end of their academic journey had become the beginning of something far greater. With Earth as their guide and the stars as their destination, Zara, Crix, and Lumi were ready to write the next chapter in the grand story of life in the universe. As the stars twinkled in the vast expanse before them, they shared a moment of silent understanding. Their adventure was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun.